Jhin, not bad. Goes for the Sivir instead, the Shaya. Alright, okay. I don't think if they've played much of that before, actually. It doesn't spring to mind. But then again, it's been a little while since we've seen them play, hasn't it? Right, so LGD, that's Sivir. Oh wait, we have Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. We have Sivir and Azir. Lovely. There we go. LGD, they have a lot more go button now. The Sivir can help them with that. Maybe they thought they were lacking engage. That makes some sense now, actually, thinking about it. And Sivir can be pretty good versus Ezreal. Tank up the first shot while you're with your spell shield. Run towards them. You can also spell... You'll notice instead of LGD, they say Laoganjie, which is the name of the chili oil which inspired the name. Well, it didn't inspire the name, it was their sponsor from the early days of LPL, which is a rival to Laogama, which is my favorite chili oil out there, actually. Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure Laoganjie named themselves that to kind of buy the, well, to be a similar name to Laogama. And, you know, be in the same headspace. Anything interesting in level 1? Jachin Niket looking for that first skill shot level 1 and the first bucklet. Of course, Sivir can throw it. If Sivir gets a double Q, then you've messed it up. Right. So not the most being bought out there from Jachin Niket. Thought they'd get some more. Bucklet comes down now. Ooh, that's some desynchronized audio, but we have the clean feed right now, so I don't know exactly what to do about that one. YCX and Xiaoya, I'm a little bit blasted there. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to quickly cancel and turn that back on. Hopefully this will be fine. Oh, we'll see. I'll refresh what's happening here. I'm just going to... What I'm going to do, very quickly, folks, I'm just going to do this. Oh no, that might have been a mistake. That might have been a mistake. There we go, that's fine. All good, we're fine. There we go. I figured out a way to fix it. Hopefully that's fine now. I just heard that, and I was like, look, I can't refresh a web page because it's not a web page anymore. It's a media source. So how the hell do I fix the desynced audio? I mess around in OBS, and it works out just fine. I mean, Niket on the Poppy does do a lot of work with his ultimate later on, but I do wonder whether the Karma would have been better, strictly speaking. Also frees up Poppy for a later draft. Yeah, I guess you are versus 4- champions. The Sivir obviously the exception. Tongan. Good Yone play on the whole. Decent trade though. Just change your support week in LPL? Well, yeah, because Weibo did it. And then, wait, who else did it? Who else did it? Anyone else did it? Another knock up again from Tongan. Weibo did their support change. Who changed their support? Who else did that? Did anyone else? I don't think anyone else changed their support, did they? We had some coach changes. I see an Alistair and I get Mako missing flashbacks. They've not been doing... they've had mixed games on it recently. On as well. I have no idea who wins it. Flip a coin. That definitely feels like... yeah. That definitely feels like yeah. That feels like a thing for today. Also, thank you for the stream streak, Harold. Jachin Niket freezing up this top lane. Every time we see this team, we talk about how cool it was to see Jachin Niket finally team up in the LPL after years playing together on top esports challenges, their youth roster. Nice play there from Jachi to get that W active. Sivir doing quite well though in this lane. I mean, Sivir's completely okay. Got the cull in, farming fine. I think if Sivir gets online, that's when LGD could pop. LGD of course 2-0. RNG, who was their split? Who was their loss to this split? Ooh. Headbutt in, no pulverize connected. Jumping forwards. Ultra Prime, they've only played one series in upper level. Not the upper level, in this stage rather, the Nirvana group. lost it to Ultra Prime. SQW trading well, though. I say that, he's trading well, but he's also losing out on a ton of farm. Aren't both these supports new? Niket came in... he came in start of the split-ish. YCX, I believe, he's been playing LGD. He's been playing with LGD for a while now. Oh, Tongue misplays. That was a bad E, friend. Bad E. Yeah, so both these supports have been around for most of this split. They're new into this split. I believe Niket was signed for RNG at the very end of last split, but they decided to stick with their support that they had then for a little longer. YCX has been on LGD for a little while. He's a Seraphine player. Quite memorable when you remember his Seraphine games. XQW. Hang on a second. Needs to be a little careful here. Flash pull. Can't stop that with a W. And the cat in a little bit of trouble. Only loses half the HP though, all things said and done. The ultimate dodged away from Tongue not landing anything with the Fate sealed. So the Fate is open. The Fate is open. It's unsealed. It's not sealed. Y6 losing the flash, but Niket being half HP, not the best thing. The mites and the grubs actually doing a load of damage to the Jachi. Probably not the best thing that. Does get towards the Honey Fruit though. Scuffle Crab focus rather than the actual grubs themselves. Tongue has the knockup. Gets pulverized, gets shoved back into the team, and can't press E. Tongue has had an absolute torrid time of it in the early game. That is not what I would call a clean fight, but a fight did technically happen. And LGD get themselves first blood. I have no idea how that skill shot hit, but Jachi forced to E out. LGD, all things said and done though, can't actually finish the grubs. And Xiao to ICS go, look, there's a really juicy wave in topside. Let's call it a day, eh? That means that despite the kill going over LGD, we're gonna go lose a grub. There is a teleport out coming back in. Look, this is anything but clean. The cat has flashed out. Milky Way has flashed out. And we've had a Mr. Besser ult to top it all off. If you couldn't tell, it was Group Nevada today, and Sam very nearly spills tea all over my desk. We get our grub sealed by LGD. It's a good start to the day. Sam, I'm going to ask you to just take over the stream very briefly. Yeah. So, I'm sure you'll get it. I don't need to describe to you what happened. You will see a replay of what just happened as I go find... I gotta go brush my teeth, and
Yeah, okay, I heard despair. Came back with coffee. What am I witnessing? Okay.
What? No, you have to see the replay. You're not witnessing anything just
No, wait. Okay. Are we gonna get a replay? I'm not seeing one.
Oh, you don't.
I don't know, I'm not seeing a replay, Al. We're gonna do for a dragon fight. That's the plan, by the looks of it. We might be avoiding further pain, folks.
No, they must, Sam. They must. They must.
Hi, Trinity. Good to see you. We also get 2 more team ups. Oh yeah. Is this a rank game? Of the highest order. Professional game. Not the fight you're looking for, and I hand wave it. Precisely, mate. What have I done now? Yeah, broken the replay system, apparently. So, game state. As it stands, minor gold lead to LGD. Off the kill they picked up on Tatanguan. You sure they didn't just take my solo queue, put the LPL nameplate on? Always possible. Nio, of course, here. Used to play alongside Jachi and Niket on top esports challenges. They know each other very, very well. But looking for a play onto Nio, but now the turnaround from YCX denies the easy invade there. YCX gets the hold on. Xiaoye and Jachi now trading out. Xiaoye's popped the on the hunt. Q goes wide from Jachi. Actually puts him in a potentially precarious spot. if a Q were to come through. The health bars being what they are, wanting Lullaby being down, just means probably a Dragon start hit for LGD. Milky Way with the speed up off the Scuttle Crab, can jump at XQW, who flashes, ults, and gets absolutely no one. Nice backstep from Milky Way, but XQW, the little frog, ends up in the frying pan and ain't paying attention to the heat of the water. Plate secured. Look at the replay here. So this is this replay. We didn't get the replay of the earlier, but we didn't get a replay of this. Clearly they spare the blush on that one. Nice combo from Tangu and buys a lot of time. So SQW tries to buffer people out with the Emperor's Divide, but really good back steps mean that Milky Way and Tangu just say, yeah, no. Second set of grubs in 5 seconds. They will be looking for that one. There will be no Fate Sealed available. The Lilting Lullaby will be up. True Shot Barrage also down, so worth keeping an eye on that one. We got no replay out.
Oh, you missed breakfast, huh?
Have I? Is that what you call it?
Yeah, I think it would have been the highlight of your day.
That's a bad sign.
I think it would have been the highlight of your day for all the best reasons. It's really nothing more. Hang on a second, got a really engage coming through.
Okay, Civic goes on the hunt and spell shields the Scion engage. Ult out, though, of the Azir means they're down. What are their damage members? LGD now trying to play on out. Flash on board for Milky Way. Goes looking for the Lilting Lullaby and gets a few people to sleep and gets murdered on the way out. Q3 after is good, but there is no Fate Seal on the play in mid lane. Exit YCX flashing out to safety. Nayo gets a decent win, becomes lightning. And RNG, despite what looked like a decent combo for a second or two there, in a 5v4, cannot follow up on the Lilting Lullaby.
RNG are struggling to get clean engages. They're pulling the trigger, it's just not really hitting the members that they need to. The Scion ult goes into a Sivir spell. Hang on a second, that's a minion auto there. Ricochet! Forces the barrier. Jachi is glad he was packing that summoner spell. LGD, you know, they are currently our 2-0 team. They're one of our better teams here in Group Nirvana. RNG only played a single series. They lost against Ultra Prime. Remember, folks, you only get 5 best of 3s to determine your fate in Group Nirvana. We haven't had a Nirvana series for, you know, we haven't had as much of them for a little while. Oh, good auto attack reset. There was a crit in there too. That's what happened.
Ow.
It was one of those low percent crit chances. But yeah, if you finish bottom 2 in Group Nirvana, you don't play the rest of 2025. You qualify for 2026, potentially. Even then, there's word that we might be losing some organizations going into that. So going out here and losing series, which could potentially be very important, like this one for RNG. LGD obviously feeling a bit more safe. It has a lot of emotional weight to it.
Let's look at the replay, because in goes that Scion, is stunted, and then Milky Way, after you get the knockaway on the Azir, thinks, okay, I've got an option here, and goes looking for a big old engage that just doesn't quite get enough value.
Yeah, the Swell Seed misses, and then he doesn't press Q. It's not. That's the kind of. I think he thinks he has Q. He doesn't, and dies.
Oh, Milky Way, that's unfortunate.
Oh.
He's not had a great split, has to be said. It feels like he's trying a little too hard to force the killer plays. Don't get me wrong, he's capable of them, but...
This was his evil alter ego, Pilky Way.
Yeah, Pilky Way's here.
If you've never enjoyed the glories of Pepsi milk, you,
Why are you encouraging this?
Because every streamer has to have a stream meme, and I've chosen this to be it. That's it, Sam. It's purely altruistic.
Drink Pilk, folks. Pilky Gaming coming out. Thank you, Mecha.
It's like if you had, you know, like Volkswagen. Das Auto. Pilk. Das. I don't know. I think of a slogan for it. If you could think of a good enough slogan for Pilk, you let us know.
Das Getränke.
Yes, Getränke. Thank you for the sub, by the way, JD Scout is fast.
I'm the one with the Pilk emote. It's true.
Oh man. I mean, I look at Oh yeah, 16 teams is good though. You can have world group shenanigans like in placements. The problem is then what we found is like there are a bunch of games between top teams and bottom teams which feel kind of filler because they're so
one-sided.
They're so one-sided. Now it does allow some top tier teams to completely shred a team. I mean, there are sometimes we see teams not preparing for. I mean, we've even seen this in Group Ascend actually. Our teams will play against Thundertalk, FPX, WE teams, which we view less positively right now. Obviously, that's come to their detriment actually in some cases, to the other team's detriment sometimes. And instead, they'll prepare for the JDGs, BLGs, top esports, say, and anyone's like teams which are above, seen as above them on paper. Now, if you have 2 series in 1 week, you're going to prepare more for one of these teams. Tower goes down, Dragon's traded on the other side.
Puts down the barrier, but that public execution was on point. Jachi nowhere to go there. Asasi just freeballs it.
And then Xiaoya gets a clean double Q off of the combo from the Alistair. And RNG, they're losing a lot of easy kills here. I don't think this is a bad composition. This is a good comp. I look at these five champions and say, yeah, I understand how they want to play. They give you a bit of everything, actually, and it should be quite easy to execute on because you have Swell Seeds, Yone, Sion. You have so many different engage options. What happens here? It feels like they've just fallen behind a little bit too much. Spell Shield comes out from Xiaoya. Ah, that's nice as hell. You know what he does? Waits for the Q to self-CC Jachi and uses that to land that ultimate. That is very cool. Sometimes you see people waiting for auto attacks to come through to cast a skill shot at them. Sassy really plays that well.
That's very smooth. I like that one a lot. And LGD a significant lead here. Again, LGD I think are going to be a little frustrated. They didn't make it through to Group Ascent. I think they and Ultra Prime points look very, very commanding, but they've both got some fatal flaws. They've been known to crumble under the pressure occasionally, both of those teams, and let their better sides lose out.
So yeah, just tagging on to Tongu in that. What do we have up? Well, nothing up right now besides, enemy champions, which meat bags to hurt.
Meat back on the menu, boys.
We didn't get a chance to talk about this off air, by the way, as we do. We'll see if we have a fight coming through. By the way, Sam, what are you feeling like from casting today? What would you like to get out of your casts? Oh, actually, no, there's a fight. That's a problem. It's just
violence, Alex.
There's nothing to fight over. They just stand their ground and die.
I guess they try to stay for the turret. Is it even up? I can't. Yes, it is. I guess maybe that's it. It's now Tangyuan goes through everyone. The combo's nice enough, but to what end? Angle Milky Way with a big combo now. Lilting Lullaby comes on down for the 2-shot. One night will go down. That's the shutdown coming on through. TP now on. And Xiaoshu is here. An LGD loser member.
Sassy's now down on this side of the map. You need to be very careful now as Tangyuan. Likely going to have flash blown if Sassy pulled that ultimate accurately onto him. Could have guessed E'd out to the side as well. So LGD, they're the ones that overstayed this time.
Well, that was certainly something. That was some goalie stuff. I think we're going to make sure we set up for objectives cleanly.
Okay.
And that's a big one.
We will hope that the teams give us that.
And then just energy management if the game goes crazy. And if their game goes crazy, we need to make sure our fights sound different.
Cool. Right. That is very good to know. Because you don't want to just copy and paste stuff all the time, do you?
Nope.
It's been something. Now I've gained a lot of appreciation for pro players after having the solo cast and doing a lot of play-by-play myself recently. Now it's all good shouting at a screen in different ways for multiple hours of a day gets a bit tricky.
Can be. Herald now spawned as well. See, you've got different objectives in the same pit. See, it all works together. There's a link everywhere you look, Alex.
Cathedrals everywhere with those with eyes to see them.
That's very Instagram cottagecore vibes.
Yeah, well, you know where it came from? It came from, weirdly, Jordan Peterson, who's not a person which I particularly share opinions with, but he posted a picture of an Evian water bottle with the mountain range on it on the side and said, there are cathedrals everywhere with eyes to see it. Like, why did you have to go so hard with that quote? Anyway, right, there's Harold Big Star. No, perhaps that is a cathedral for teams with eyes to see that.
That's the one.
I just can't believe it was him of all people with a bottle of Evian water. Right, Engage comes through.
We've not got a bottle of water, but we do have a river full of it. We might be looking at a fight there as YCX can be forced to ult the Keeper's Verdict goes well wide, and now Nicat might well be burning out. Doesn't quite. Stays alive from the Leandri's burn. Goes looking for a big lilting lullaby. Can maybe now jump onto the Azir. Turns around from it, trying to avoid that Emperor's to fight. They get a kill on the Alistair. But it does mean that Nio and the side of what XQW can look to keep on fighting. Now you're in a 1v3, and he likes those odds. Looking to get in range for an audacious charge. Xiaoshu will likely die here. Can't get enough value with the decimating smash. Have to cut it early. So stop the zombie running forwards. Damage onto Naya, who does smite to slow down the zombie and should be safe here from the damage.
SQW does a ton of damage then. He's 1,000 gold behind on the Azir. I think Tangyuan's done a good job of kind of rectifying some earlier mishaps with those engages a little earlier on. Now have 20 seconds till the dragon. Because we've had such a big fight on top side, we're missing a lot of tools for the dragon. Will that inform whether we get in a contest or not? I think RNG have to contest, but they don't have the Lilton Lullaby. Sion's dead. They don't have the Fate Sealed, but they might have to give over a soul point to LGD.
Alright, Milky Way's here and does manage to clean up all the camps there before anything happens. Nice tech there with the double camp clearing of the red buff and the Krugs. Yes, I saw the red buff reset for about 400 HP, but still, very swift stuff. Pay attention, Ilias. You can, in fact, queue over the wall, mid-doing red buff, to start up Krugs as well. Yeah, quite nice, as the dragon, though, has started to call out.
You kind of have to get a steal here. You can't let... And it's already gone. Soul point to LGD so easily.
It's just not much of a contest. I thought with Milky Way around, they might look for it. Can't quite do it. Now they get public execution into the backline as Tangyuan does get out to safety, but he's so much of the damage. And Milky Way will go gold and give a bit more to room to get some burn, a bit more healing. Flashes out. That's not bad for Sassy. Just follows to get a triple kill. The flash blown, and it means that Drakehound step breaks the legs of the Fawn. Xiaoshu, the one remaining member, and he's ganged on by 3 people and can do nothing but fall as well. Guess what else is up? Atakan's there. The pings are coming through.
This is a lesson in cooldown management. You tell me, chat, was it more worthwhile to spend all of those ultimates topside before the dragon, or should they have saved them for what was going to be a soul point fight for LGD? By my money, I think RNG threw their ultimates away too easily and have now given themselves a strategic loss condition in that Mountain Soul in 4 minutes. Atakan being started up after the lost fight as well, it's even more painful.
That is pretty damn rough. Get some teleports in as well so they can keep that pressure in. Atakan is going to be going down with little to be said. For a true shot barrage across. Chunk out Sassy briefly, that's about it. It is, in fairness, only the withdrawal variant. So there is a world here where if you can keep your wave shoved and not interact too much, you don't have to give up so much with this.
And it's not going to overlap into the next dragon, that GA, which is the big thing. If you've got the GA overlapping into Mountain Soul, yeah, you got a problem. That's a bit of an issue there, as much as it's already an issue already. So LGD, they're showing off their Bring Your Daughter to Work Day composition, but they have the double long-range backline of Azir and his descendant in that Civet. And they get a ton of AoE damage. While there's no ultimates to really ping that backline, Xiao gets a ton of ricochets down, but really the star of the fight here is Sassy on the Ambassador. There's nothing to really stop him just going absolute beast mode onto enemies. He catches out Milky with a 2 great cut flash combo over the wall. RNG didn't have the cooldowns to fight this.
Second or two later, and Milky Way gets the blast cone away and probably gets to be safe, but can't quite do it. And then you end up now with LGD getting the Herald too, and now there really is very little to say about this game at this point. 5k ahead, Atakan, 3 Drakes, 5 Grubs, a Herald. Like, that's a long list of win cons and markers for success in a game of League of Legends.
They're just missing the partridge in a pear tree. Well, I guess it's a long time of year. Maybe that's why they're missing.
Maybe that's why they don't have it. Yeah, exactly.
Why they don't have it. They only get that, 1 month of the year. Herald spawns use top lane, and they'll push in for even more gold.
There's a 3k advantage in the AD carry roll, by the way. It's basically because of the 4 kills that the Sivir has picked up. Yeah, you got 2 items on this air, so I think it's going to get quite hard, but I don't think we're going to see too much more as Niket goes charging on into the backside. Let's get a decimating smoke on XQW, who just about stands and delivers for now. Gang can go forward and gets a shuffle of his own, but there's still withdrawals coming on through. Means they can just come back. Tangyuan now trading out with Nayo and not winning versus a Shinzao, despite being a level up. Fate Seal can't get over the wall and dies.
Whoa.
In what amounts to a 1v1 just about.
Yeah, Nayo feeling it. Pulls out the 3 Talon Strikes. Sundered Sky comes back up midway through a trade for that auto crit. And RNG have been completely wiped in this game. Ever since their early engages went awry, you got a bit worried. And then they started flinging out ultimates too easily across this game. This one's obviously hard because there's the Atakan on the other side of it. You have the Alistair to tank up with that ultimate. This isn't even a particularly good fight for them. You know, the Azir is not auto-attacking for the grand majority of this, but you still have a Sivir who's throwing in a bunch of lethal tempo, empowered auto-attacks after that point. Great combo from him. Flashes forward. Does he get the kill? He does that. I didn't actually see the back end of that. But hey, trading a flash and the individual for a kill that, you'll feel happy about that.
Nymaera teleports in basically as the fight is done as well. So Nymaera, being knocked out by that Keeper's 30, just comes straight back on in and is ready to go. So it ends up being really problematic there for your Yone, who doesn't get to ult into that fight at all. Well, Dragon in 50 seconds, the Baron up, but it's being two-manned right now by LGD.
And this is a AD carry with an Infinity Edge over something like that Essence Reaver as well. That is a hell of a 3-item core. 4,000 gold advantage on the Sivir. The Bring Your Daughter to Work day. Could have worked with Cassidy and Kaiser as well, but hey, Azir, Sivir, we'll take that one. Xiaoye, a player which I've witnessed the ups and downs of here in the LPL, having a good game here today and carrying his team with this pick.
Very much so. Finally get a second turret here, will RNG, looking at that tier 1 bot side. Sad to see as Jaxi desperately tries to hold some people here and prevent the easy resets because they are going to have to play for Soul, or I think the game is already more over than it is.
And that's why, yeah, it's looking pretty over. LGD, they have Soul on the table. They can give up that tower because it doesn't matter that that objective bounty comes through. RNG would have to reset to use that gold. They don't have that time. Dragon has been started. LGD might have to look for a steal, but I think they could probably just start the fight with a Sivir ult.
Against the red buff, gets a big chunk onto Nayo, has to flash back away. Will look for the wind becomes lightning tango and rebinds his soul. Nayo had to burn Crescent Guard, so he's not in the pit, but neither is Milky Way. So there's no smite around as the Poppy just dies to incidental ricochet. Flash forward for the headbutt pulverize, and Y6 now to the backside. Look at Milky Way on the other side. There's a public execution again, gets freeballed onto the AD carry. The lilting lullaby, but this Abessa does not give a singular damn. Mounted Soul, nice secure. Milky Way will go golden on the Emperor's Divide, but to what end? It's venison for dinner. LGD claim Soul, and they'll claim the game too.
RNG fail another team fight. Mountain Soul to LGD. That feels like it was truly the last gasp. LGD have just played better around the 5v5s. Tongwen got an early gold lead, but just hasn't been able to use it. RNG disconnected, and for a team that's already lost the series here in Group Nirvana, going down 0-1 is not where you want to be as a team on the brink.
On the other side for LGD, looking to take this opportunity to fuel their way to playoffs. There's still a road to it. So many of these players are going to be eyeing that up right now after some commanding looks in the Nirvana group. Already 2-0 in series. They can make it to 3. Things are looking pretty fine for them in the grand scheme of things.
As we were saying before, LGD probably feel a little bit...
Playmaking, I see what you're supposed to do there. Be a little bit scary for this Neferi if she uses that W wrongly, but you've still got to manage what is going to be a very challenging bot side of the map. And a very scary scaling option here with the Rise, the Neferi, the Jax, all getting stronger and stronger, I think, when their opposite numbers past a certain point.
RNG have good one-boy combo. And he can flash forward, Nautilus can flash forward, and then suddenly a bullet time comes over the top. Lee Sin gets a point-and-click kick. But the Yorick doesn't fit into that combo. The Yorick is not part of the 5v5. Yorick is meant to be alone on a side lane. And on the other side, you have Neferi that can jump at you from long range, the Rise that can come in with the Realm Warp. RNG, I don't think they picked a composition. I think they picked... Here we go. Oh, I didn't turn the volume up for that, so they were quite quiet, weren't they? Well, there you go, full volume now. And luckily, those pings and game sounds fully online. So, this top lane matchup, it's got to be pretty important, right? The first pick Yorick for Xiaoshu. First pick Yorick. In a composition that doesn't really feel like it fits. Bit out of sorts. Now we'll be starting up on the Raptors. Very quick clear, of course, from the Neferi. The great thing for new players playing Neferi and jungle, you don't actually have to learn how to kite jungle camps, because the dogs kind of make that mute anyway, because they aggro onto the dogs. Counter-Strike level 1, that is okay. Looks like wave control goes over towards the Jax level 1. Yeah, Jax has control of the early wave, but really later on, hang on a second, how the hell did that hit? Barry comes through very quickly. Niket, great hook there through the wave. That is a Norton's hook and a half. Good summoner blown. And the double up onto Xiaoya too, that really impacts their ability to play through the early game. That is ridiculous. Lee Sin is on bot side. Nefiri is going through top side, clearing to bot side. Milky Way was hanging around bot side just to see if there was an option. He's actually gone for bot side, recalled, gets himself a longsword so he can duel over top Scuttle. Watch what's going to happen in top side jungle, folks. Is there a room? I mean, I don't know why you'd walk up there. Nio has mid lane control. Lee Sin has the extra longsword. Really watch what Milky Way does now. He decided to go for an early bag. Niket can go for a flash auto, and indeed does go for it. The ignite comes down, and the double up hits as well. The last tick of the ignite will mean that Xiaoya goes down for first blood. Despite the MVP from game 1, Niket has really ruined his day here. Nio steals away a blue buff. And though Milky Way recalled for the early longsword, doesn't get a chance to duel with it. So Milky Way sadly not finding opportunity out of what could have been a very crucial moment. But LGD's bot lane losing in the 2v2. I mean, Xiaoya getting hit by hook, going into melee range of the flash melee range. That is a big problem. Xiaoya, big mistakes in what has to be a lane dominant carry. Briar would have to be a solo queue nightmare to be slightly pro-viable. She has too many exploitable weaknesses, I agree. There were some cases where Briar was very, very annoying. And you know what? Briar was very, very strong in Arena. Briar for a while was maybe the strongest champion I saw in Arena. Oh, it's first strike on the Annie. Ah, does get one proc over there. Got, one gold. Oh. You do get the 15 on the proc of it as well, but you know. Mind that Annie also has like a Thornmail shield, which does apply to spells as well. So if you do a lot of damage to her, she will bounce that back to you. Sassy, 10 CS up of Xiaoxu is doing really well here. YCX caught out, Milky Way around the back. Xiaoya and YCX getting caught out again. Milky Way this time being gifted the kill. This Kalista Renata has not achieved what it is meant to achieve, which is lane dominance and control over a side of the map. Big, big pressure vacuum now for LGD, which they have to fill. Sassy pushing in the bot side. Has an XP advantage. Xiaoxu will be able to get that, though. Players had no counter-strike for a dive now. What the hell does Xiaoya do? Now, YCS coming back to lane. Milky Way taking away the Krugs. But the laning mistake... yeesh. Luckily, that Q didn't hit. Xiaoya's laning mistakes might cost LGD an awful lot in this game. Decent trade back. The Make It Rain does okay there. I think Jiachi... The double ups have been just as crucial as the hooks hitting from Niket, both of them playing very well. Has led to over 1,000 gold lead from the early game. Most of that in that bot lane, of course. Xiaoxu getting some decent damage there from the Morning Mist. This is the problem with the Jax versus the York and Karzold. Yes, I agree with what you've been saying in chat there too. You know, you can engage and whatever. You can go in with a counter-strike and hop out, but if York ever hits an E onto you, you just... die, you know, eventually later on. It really is about that skill shot accuracy from the Yorick and the dodges coming through from Sassy. Realm Walk coming through now. No flash on the cat or Jiachi. This could be a big play. Realm Walk comes through. The Rune Prison comes through as well. Sadly, the hook is just as available, and RNG get out despite there being an ult and a flash. LGD's early game, much, much less clean than it has been in that first game. RNG off to a much better start due to their laning power and LGD's misplays.
The Kalista Renata has gone wrong, I see.
Yeah, it has. What happened was great level 1 hook from the cat, a couple of good double ups from Jiachi, and then basically Xiaoya walking up into Flash Nautilus auto range. Got them killed for first blood. Died again on the top side in a 2v3 where Milky Way had a good wraparound gank. And Now we can see that, yeah, there's 1,000 gold lead for RNG. They'll take the first grubs of the game too. I think RNG, despite the fact that their composition is not one which I particularly like. I don't see what the composition does that well as a 5-man unit. The Yorick doesn't add into it. You know, yes, there's a bit of a wombo combo, but I don't see how the composition functions. They are, however, just playing so much better in the early game, and that's what matters here.
You know, if you do get the Lee Sin plus X of any of the lanes, feels pretty good. I think also the Rise kind of a pretty rough time into the Annie, if I remember correctly, just purely because your stun, your big old Tibbers is not something that the Rise particularly enjoys dealing with, even with things like the Phase Rush. We'll see how that plays out. An early skirmishing power might be what they need, even if in the 5v5 the cohesion isn't as obvious as it might be in another draft.
Starting to see where the Yorick starts to be really annoying this matchup too, where you start to get a couple more points in your E after your Q has been kind of like gets towards that maxed out point, and you land an E, and then the Jax, though he has a counter strike, can't really stop. You have to blow it on like ghoul autos, which kind of sucks. And though Jax does have good wave clear, the counter strike very good at clearing through the wave. Yorick starts to take over at this point. Teleports to the top side of the map and will start to be a pressure valve.
I also think then you've got Annie on the other side into the Jax. Annie could just doesn't care about autoing, and the Jax goes, well, I guess I just eat a stun again. And that can be pretty miserable too.
It's, you know, good carbohydrate stuns, I hear. Good protein, a little bit of fiber.
I see it was eat. I was like, hey, what am I missing on the card here?
Milky Way has flash, has ult, might be looking for a kick.
Tangyuan also has flash and also has ult. Flash kicks into the wall, stun after, will do a fair amount of work to make this one come on down as the Tibbers is sent forward, but with no stun on top of it means it's a relatively easy run away. They don't finish the kill there, and Tangyuan not willing to burn the flash.
Well, Milky Way did burn the flash, he didn't get the kick angle. So he tries to go for the kick back, but XQW manages to outpace with the tier 2 boots, and then eventually the passive and phase rush as well. There is a chance that Niket can go for the flash down, but you just survived!
Gets the staggering blows off the wall, Q in after they get the kill. Niket will take a turret shot or two, but nice follow-up there to finish what they started the first time around. The Naya and Shaya, they're coming around, looking for some more. Niket needs to hook towards the wall to buy a bit of time. Fate's Call now used. Niket now in danger. Will try and put down the Titan's Wrath shield, but will now die.
So it's a 1-for-1 kill going over to Neferi. I would argue more important than the kill over towards the Lee Sin. Yes, the Lee Sin likes the early gold as well, but Neferi with gold is like very few champions we've ever seen in jungle. I guess caught by the baby cage, we'll be fine there. Still, that's a moment for LGD, which they've struggled to find elsewhere. Now, having Niket off the board, Milky Way no flash, does mean that Dragon will go over to LGD.
Looks like that as Niket on respawn with Milky Way heading towards blue side of their jungle. Probably going to look to play for setup around these grubs spawning in a minute. That feels like a pretty good timer on that front at the very least.
So, still 1,000 gold lead, the advantage. Big problem that the Kalista is not off to a flying start. Kalista is so balanced around, in pro at least, having such a dominant lane. When she doesn't feel like the same champion. So, great job by Jashi and Niket to hold that lane down. We'll say there were some mistakes from Shaya in the ICX. Absolutely have to call out both sides of that coin. RNG though, when the cards are down there, they're just very happy that this is a Kalista they don't have to worry about to the same degree.
Yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it? I'm gonna have to deal with the fact that this Kalista though, down 20 CS kind of sucks.
You ever think about what an Olympics would look like in Runeterra? You know, there's the Cannon Rise skin, would be very good at shot put. You've obviously got the javelins of Nidalee and Kalista.
We have Poppy Golf.
Poppy Golf, yeah.
I feel like GB just out there has been setting up the Olympics for a while now.
Apparently Odo Omni's been thinking of a load of them too.
Fabulous.
So, turns out, a lot of people saw the practice and were like, damn, there's a lot of stuff for this. But of course, GB's doing a great job over that DLC as well.
The tennis was also excellent. Yes. I enjoyed that a lot.
I'm trying to think exactly what you could do with, like, you know, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of spear throws.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of that. Archery, probably the most stacked thing that we have here in Runeterra.
That's true. A lot of archers. Who's the best archer?
That is a great question. I'm sure I'd annoy a champion main out there, regardless of what I say. I hear that, you know, Avarosa's bow is pretty neat.
Pretty good,
so
pretty
Ashe
neat.
has a bit of a...
Ashe is in a good spot.
So you have, you have Ashe, Varus, you have Vayne who's got a crossbow, so not an archer technically. Grubs are going to get taken... Well, are they going to get contested? Just getting the one is nice for the Yorick. Hex Flash towards the Kalista and hits.
Oh, nice hook angle into the knockup. Xiaoya flashes on out. Under the backline goes Milky Way. Can't quite secure the kill. The bailout on top of Xiaoya will keep them alive. Flash, barrier, heal, all blown to keep that Callista alive.
Ryze is now running up the river. What is Ryze doing? Ryze doesn't know if they're going to be wave clearing on bot side or going towards the fight. Doesn't have the teleport. Now gets caught within the dark procession. That's a problem.
And that's going to happen quite consistently. I don't think either of these side lanes are going to be that fun for the Ryze in the grand scheme of things.
6 grubs to RNG. You have 6 grubs with a Yorick on your team. RNG been really thriving off these Nautilus hooks. The Nautilus hooks have been the most impactful thing that have happened this game. Destroying the laning phase of Xiaoya and YCX, mistakes allowed that to happen. And then again, Xiaoya, after an MVP in game 1, crucial misstep around the grubs, sees LGD unable to contest.
That is pretty nutty. Again, Xiaoya lucky to survive there. Felt like he was dead to rights, but flashed enough to keep him safe after a good handshake mid. Resonating strike prevented Milky Way from getting all the follow-up he might have liked. Still, though, just cashed in the kill. The cult did misfortune. She's already got the Bloodthirsty completed. So there'll likely be a back here for a BF sword or something, and this is going to get pretty ugly pretty shortly. Skirmishing, pretty potent for RNG, especially if they're in the river first. Ability to turn and burn on whoever pokes their head through an entrance can be pretty scary this game.
Still think LGD have a good chance to out macro with Global of the Realm Warp being able to enter the Yorick's lane. I think Sassy also been just playing very well bluntly in general. Now if he can play well and stop Xiaoxi from getting control over one side of the map, it could be very, very important. Zac for the long jump. Perfect. Oh man, that'd be great. You have like volley bear roll, Zac E.
Pantheon just laughs.
True. Oh my god, that's a great point. You think Zac's gonna win, then Pantheon with the man drop. YCS caught out on the recall, buddy.
Oh boy.
Another easy kill. LGD giving up so many freebies.
I know there's a wall around the corner, but they didn't know there was one in that raptor bush, and so recalls in an ugly spot, gets picked off.
But like, why would you need to recall there?
I don't know.
So strange. Bit of a tilt here from LGD's bot lane.
XQW now in danger as RNG, Milky Way and the cat on the warpath. Realm warping out. Won't look any further, but that does mean with 6 grubs and Elise in there, they can do a fair amount of damage to this turret.
And there's no cross map. That's the big thing. There's no cross map. Nakat does have flash. He does have ultimate too. Now, the problem is, throwing the Nautilus ultimate doesn't exactly work into the Neferi. Good route under the tower, but the tower's going to die.
It does. They get the knock up onto the Ryze. Their hostile takeover is solid, but they're still going to get a decent amount of damage down. Milky Way dies. That's big. TLP's coming on through as well. And RNG don't respond with more members. Jachi finally turns up, but the damage is already done. Oh, RNG, where's your own TP?
Xiaoshu forced the flash on the bot side of the map. He must have had a potential of that teleport being cancelled. Sassy helping his team out on the other side of the map as Jaxi goes down. No. It is a 4 kills for 1 on the other side.
Hang on, TP after gets 2 at the end of it. You'll take that as Jaxi, but the work is already done. 4 for 2.
That bullet time saving RNG on that top side of the map. If that had just been like a 4, if that had been a 4 for none, disaster. The fact that you get 2 kills back, big change.
Well, I'm hoping we get a replay there because initially it looked like RNG were going to force his turret pretty cleanly, and it gets very ugly very fast.
Yeah, there's wave clear, and then flash forward onto the Ryze, but the hostile takeover splits the damage coming through, so they can't finish off the kill, and then you've used all of your cooldowns, and there's a Neferi at full HP. Biggest issue now that RNG are going to have to deal with is a Neferi can just end their game. That's going to be a huge problem. Cat doesn't even get that hook afterwards, sadly, for them. Some weird stuff happened on the bot side of the map while this happened too, where there was a flash blown by the Yorick midway through the play. Didn't end up teleporting towards the fight because of that. Of course, this is the huge play afterwards where there's just a ton of damage coming through. Double up comes through. Bullet time. Jaxi, surviving on a sliver of HP, manages to get 2 back. Incredibly good turnaround.
That he does, and now 2-1 and 3 is feeling pretty happy about that one. The Lee Sin's still in a decent spot. The problem is Nayo at 5-0 with 2 items on this Neferi is all of the kills for LGD. All of them.
That is the turning point. That is where the fulcrum is in this game now. How much value is this Neferi going to get? RNG, they have a wombo combo, but if you get outplayed by the Neferi W, I think your team fight's over now. I think LGD have themselves their win condition. They're behind in the game, but if Neferi manages to get a good enough trade, that could be a big problem. Phase rush not enough to get out of the dark procession again.
Last rights come on down. The Maiden of the Mist still continue to chonk the armor shred from the Morning Mist as well. It's just dead. Last rights come on down and they just bonk the Rise over the head a few times. The shovel does the work.
Yeah, really well played from Xiaoshu. Lands the slow into the Dark Procession, even with a phase rush and the passive. XQW chooses the wrong way to run and gets a free kill.
Cat and Milky Way trading out here with YCX, who handshakes back, but now Tangyue gets in a 1v3. The hostile takeover buys a lot of time. Wonderful ult. Now Milky Way and Jachi try to turn it around with a good bullet time. Nayo in danger, needs to eviscerate away and will do so, but they lose the Annie nonetheless to RNG.
Yorick with 6 grubs now also pushing on the bot side of the map. So RNG, they do win that 1v1 with the Rise. XQW misplaying heavily. Xiaoshu will kill this entire turret, by the way. He will kill this with that if he's left for a wave. So LGD need to be very careful to respond to that. SQW with the Realm Warp potentially threatening, so chooses to back off.
YCX and Xiaoyu both very low here, and they were a bit worried about that one. The health will be taken by Nayo, so there is at least that back over towards LGD. So first objective of the game, the feat of strength already towards RNG anyway with the turret and the 3 kills. And look maybe for this turret. A bit wary with the Realm Warp coming. They've got Niket behind. Overcomes Milky Way. Going to keep on trying to run onto Jachi. He's got very little mana, but the Safeguard does so much work. And Nayo gets a shutdown over to Milky Way.
The ultimate from Milky Way just kicks the dog out of the fight too. Nayo wasn't close to getting the kill without that flash. Initially, what we thought was a good Realm Warp answered very easily by Niket and Milky Way turning things around.
Honestly, the jungle support combo from RNG has been really good this game. Proactivity with the Nautilus and the Lee Sin. When they're on the front foot, looks very different, doesn't it?
You know, Milky Way didn't have the easiest entry into this. Well, no, he got the first kill, but then that, you know, the kick in the bot side on XQW didn't really work out when they went towards that side lane. It's not been a clean game from RNG completely. You know, that top side, 4 deaths they gave over have made this game a lot more even than it should have been at this point. Still, 6 scrubs are pushing Yorick. Definitely a win condition they can play around. They do need to be careful of this Nymaera though.
On the other side though, Xiaoyu only at the Blade of the Ruin King is 0-2. Not the best time here on this Callista. Whereas you look over at Jachi, who's laughing with the Infinity Edge completion here as well.
I think Jachi's been my player of this game so far.
Yeah.
I think his double ups in lane, I think his bullet time turnaround. Yeah, that last play obviously bailed out by Milky Way and Niket, but I think Jachi has been the most problematic champion on the Rift for LGD.
Very much so. And now Xiaoshu, remember, first picking this Yorick in a very good position with the 6 grubs. The Lee Sin is 4 kills deep. The Misfortune 2k up. Those are good options. And the thing for LGD is, yes, the Neferi is fair, but she's the only member with kills right now. Still 100% of the kills, and if the Neferi isn't involved or gets taken out of a fight, the rest of the team is a little more anemic, it has to be said.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is, like, 2 items is where the Neferi really starts to come online, and the big problem is just it's very hard to stop her doing damage when she gets into things. Very few champions can 1v1 and Neferi when she's ahead. Realm with the Rune Prison, I keep saying Realm Warp, the Rune Prison comes through, forces the cleanse, but it's a flash from the Rise. I don't know if that's worth it.
The cleanse off Jachi, maybe that will be enough in the grand scheme of things for the hostile takeover and a Fate's Call. But 40 seconds on this Ocean Drake. Sassy now bot side, try and claim this turret. Should be able to do so, I think, with a Demolish and a Trinity Force. It means the mid lane turret is left open for RNG to shove out, and they'll get that one in trade.
And RNG, of course, have the feats of strength from their tower killing potential earlier into the game. Yorick on top side. I don't know whether SQW losing the flash, by the way, means it is much harder for him to play against this Yorick. Well, it's going to be okay for him. It is, in fact, the Pirate Panda Yorick's in. That's fantastic. 10 seconds till Dragon. Is that more important, Sam?
Yeah.
I don't know. Pandas are pretty important. But...
yeah, I hadn't remembered the panda's going to play. I kept hearing the cat noises. Is that always the cat one? It's the cat chroma on the... no, the panda chroma on the cat skin.
Yeah. Dragon spawning now. LGD can give up this one. I think it is an Ocean Rift, of course. Very nasty to give that over specifically to that Yorick, but the MF as well with Bloodthirster around that Ocean Soul. Very hard to take down. Milky Way starts this up. Now, we haven't seen a 5v5 really yet between these teams. We saw that 4v4 on top side. In fact, we might not even see a 5v5 here because the Yorick is on top side. I mean, RNG, I don't think you should be giving up the Dragon. Not while you're ahead in the game. All right, free Dragon for LGD.
Clearly didn't want to bring the Yorick down and said, look, it's going to be a 5v5. Actually, it's only second Dragon. We'd rather have Xiaoshu shoving. They decide against it, and very clearly so. I don't know if that was the right call or not. I'm not here to necessarily comment on. They don't get the top tier 2 though, so...
so it's not a trade. No, it's not. This just feels like RNG are afraid of the 5v5. Herald goes into mid lane too, which that's, you know, relatively important, because now it means that if RNG split onto the side lanes and they leave mid lane alone now. Maybe the turret goes down in one wave from that HP, even against no grubs. Nio is at that 2 items, as we said before. Doesn't have a black cleaver. Has gone towards the Shojin second, but hey, it's fine for that. Milky Way could potentially hang for a second. Could be a bit of trouble there, actually. I was a little bit worried. See how much random turnaround damage there is from Neferi and a Jax. Quite high.
Very much so. Shojin, done for this Yorick, is going to be a serious problem now. This point on the Yorick is where he really gets annoying because he gets to go through so many more cooldowns. And that means more ghouls, more Morning Mist, more Dark Processions, and more tears from the enemy team.
What's the game plan here for both sides? RNG obviously want to keep playing through side lanes. They have that Yorick. It is a bit hard to do that against the Realm Warp if Ryze is in another lane. Also think you've now got the easy turrets now, taking all the outer turrets. They are going to be taking jungle camps, that's a big thing. When you get into the enemy side of the map, taking jungle camps is another way you kind of passively bleed out enemy team. SQW at least is getting himself the Rod of Ages, so I guess he gets some extra value from that. LGD, I don't know if they're really going to be able to get team fights in the way that they want to. I think they're the better team fighting team. You have Realm Warp and Neferi to open up options into the backline. You have Renata to force the enemy team to scatter as well. It's a much different team now, though, that the Kalista is just not really a champion. Being 2,000 gold behind on the Kalista, you're not going to be able to chunk through the Nautilus and kill them very easily at the start of the fight, potentially unlock a reset for the Neferi. The time windows to kill are really quite wide now compared to what they should be.
At the very least, Ryze is getting towards a pretty serious point of strength here. A couple stacks left on that rower, but still 8 stacks there, feels pretty good. Jax is behind, and that's concerning. And he's still got 2-ish minutes until something like the next dragon spawns, and by that point you wonder where this Misfortune will be at, but instead RNG saying, cool, we're going to start up on this Atacama. Got the voracious variety here, going to try and play around it. Teleport's now coming on in. Yorick still split pushing topside, has the TP, hasn't popped it yet. Sassy now coming. In comes the depth shot, Realm Warp behind. RNG pulling away. Sassy into the backside, Milky Way trying to find an angle, kicks one away as the depth charge comes on down. Now they're flashing on forward, the hostile takeover does land onto one, and that's Tangyuan is in danger. The bullet time after, though, is pretty damn brutal. XQW with a big shield flashes on forward. It's the cleanse that comes back up and they kill off the Jax. Turnaround begins to come on through. Yorick still split pushing.
Yorick has the teleport, could come down at any time. It is going to be a Ren Smite versus the Lee Sin Q.
Going to be taken by that Ren Smite, and the teleport comes in now. It comes in now. They will still get that bailout, so Xiaoye goes down. Try to turn this one around as the withdrawals come on down. YCX now in danger. Now you're in danger also, as he will lose his withdrawal. All the withdrawals burn, except for Sassy, who was actually dead. So the Jax gets it, and that's it.
That is a sequence of events which has happened on our screens. A couple of kills go to the side of LGD. Atakan largely wasted by LGD. They'll get it onto Sassy, I suppose. He'll have one when he comes back up. RNG, I suppose that's a little bit of a worrying sign that the 5v4, well, that they allowed a 5v4 to happen like this for so long. Niket very, buys the Kalista ult for free, which is kind of big. If Tangyuan goes down a little quicker, I think this fight looks a lot different, because they very nearly one-shot him. Does get that extra shield coming through, and it allows the bullet time to get a lot more value. There's a hook into it as well. Once again, I feel like actually Jachi is the main character of this fight. Yeah. He ends up getting a great bullet time, shreds so much HP that it becomes very, very hard to play this afterwards for LGD.
Nice safeguard there as well. There's a lot of shielding with Jachi to keep him out. They can't quite get secure on the Atacama, but at this point, they've got a lot of damage from over the wall. The Yorick comes on in and doesn't have to worry about things like gap closing, which Yorick hates because he's already in the middle of everyone.
And of course, he's the most fed person on the map. Hang on a second, eyes going towards Niket. No flash hit.
Just try and get some damage back. The depth charge is good. The locket shield also decent. Kick back out on Sassy, but that's that Xiaoyu out. Separate Tangyuan looking for the flank angle, looking for something. The bullet time for the first time sucks. SQW goes golden. Jachi now in danger. Flash on forward for now. He goes eviscerating onto Jachi. The Misfortune is down. They've lost the bot laner as well in form of Niket. Realm warping forward, trying to turn this one around. Misses the Sonic Wave. XQW low, but still doing fine. Stun available for Tangyuan, and the health bars on LGD not fantastic. Morning Mist also wide.
So currently 5v3 on the map. No lanes pushed up for RNG. RNG struggling the 5v5, and there's going to be a Rend stacked on towards the bow. We might have to see the Milkman come up and see if he can get himself a steal.
Going to try and find something. Decent job brought to Sassy, but he's going to get stunned up regardless. And they're going to kill off the Annie on the other side. Xiaoshu now in a 1vx will get something. But there's just not enough, and now they turn to Baron.
And of course, the kill they get on Sassy is the last remaining Atakan. So it's even just a withdrawal. 1 for 5. RNG fall apart in the team fights. They've not been able to win through the split push. LGD claw back the gold lead. They'll get themselves a Baron. And it's going to be on to 4 members. LGD have just team fought themselves into a winning situation.
What on earth happens in that team fight? I thought Tanguy with that flank was about to break everyone's careers. Can't find a stun, and the bullet time for the first time sucks.
That's the big thing for me. I think Jackie has been the main character this game, but the bullet time is not fantastic. It's coming up now, so it's not available. You've used your kick, you've used, a lot of your positioning here. Tanguy has an awful flank here too. He doesn't get the combo into the bullet time. Jackie ends up overextending for that, and Nio completely shreds him. Xiaoshu is not the kind of top laner as this Yorick that can win a 5v5 on their own. It is difficult to teamfight as the Yorick, and you can just see how hard it is for them to close down the damage once all of their big ultimates now, particularly that bullet time.
I know what Milky Way is looking for. You can't blame him for attempting to get in on that steal. It was already going to be a difficult scenario, but Annie fumbling on one side at least gets Xiaoye with the burn, but that's about it. We come back out. Soul point secured, Baron secured, and LGD now with the gold lead. The early strength of RNG beginning to crumble away here. We said, look, worry about the team fights. We're right to worry about them. Still, of course, got some tools to work with. The Yorick is strong. The Misfortune is strong. You've got a couple items on this Annie. The problem is on the other side, this Nefiri is unreal. The Zhonya's just got completed by XQW. Sure, your Kallista's not that much of a champion, but everyone else is.
So 4 minutes until the next dragon now. We haven't got big setups coming through just yet. Xiaoshu will be farming as best he can. Is it 3 items, has a Starix as well. That's, of course, worth talking about there. Now it's gone towards, have you talked about the Kempunk Chainsword on the...
I did not know.
Okay, well that's an item that's come through. It's not the Black Cleaver. 10-1 on the Nefiri fight in the mid lane.
That's pretty deep for a Nio. Needs to be a bit wary here. Gets a decent chunk with the Hall of the Pack and the Eviscerate use. Stun comes on forward, but won't interrupt the Realm War.
Tangyuan's Annie has been utterly useless this game. Doesn't get even the clutch stun there to potentially put LGD out of a winning Baron push position. Crucial misplay, as this Annie has achieved very little.
Still, you've got the flash now popped from YCX alongside the Fate's Call. Zhonya's Seraph's down on XQW. Objectives to be playing for. I will say the Baron hasn't led to all that much, really. They've not even got the mid-tier 1.
But what it has led to is actual gold lead, and they still have a minute of it left. If they can push in towards this, maybe that changes things. Now, remember, you don't have that Tibbers, which will be just been summoned up. Jackie doing a good job of wave clearing. LGD do have a gold lead, and they're not getting pushed into their side of the map. That's actually what's happened here. We've seen Sassy push in, I think, bot lane tier 1, top lane tier 1. So that, while it hasn't materialized in the mid lane turret, it's given them a lot of breathing room, maybe just off of the observer camera.
Alright, gets that wave shove top side though, begins to begin, then de-pushing that one. Jax will be up there, but it'll be a reset from Xiaoshu. Really goes back and buys probably half an item or so, I would imagine. Get ourselves back on the rift. Trying to hold on for the dregs of this Baron that have now ended. The pink dogs flying around for the soul fight in the theory.
Really annoying, because those dogs stop clean Lee Sin queues.
They do.
Which at this point, this is still a 5-kill Lee Sin. He's still 2.5k behind the theory. It is a jungler's world, we're just living in it. And I'd say it's a dog-eat-dog world, but that would be a little bit mean to Milky Way, given that he's not actually playing the dog. Baron buff gives a couple of thousand gold, but the big thing for LGD is it just stabilizes the game. The Yorick is no longer determining the side lanes. That's a huge thing. LGD gets some breathing room.
A little ironic, of course, that it is the 2 former top esports challengers players, but the main characters of this one, Jackie and Niket, were the duo for Nayu. Made that bot lane absolutely work overtime in LPL. Nayo always down there setting them up for success, now trying to prey on their downfall and has a lot of tools to do it.
Niket was potentially looking for a hook there. Worth noting, Sassy and XQW both with Zhonya's now. Very good anti-bullet time, anti-Nautilus ult tools. If you throw those ultimates onto them, chance that you don't get the value you need to. And I think we are at the point now with, Lee Sin struggling to get value, the Annie being behind gold, yes, at 2 items, but not really landing that much. If you don't get a good bullet time, I don't think RNG can win fights.
GH got built by Nayo as well. Killing this Nefiri, not once but twice the requirement. Ramp Warp is interesting. Milky Way now on a flank angle, but he's split off. He's going to get jumped on. But it meant that they're all running away from Xiaoye! Your AD carry's dead!
He has flash, chooses to die, I suppose. Milky Way gets out of the play, doesn't even need to blow his flash. Shaya has had an awful game after his MVP in game 1.
That weren't pretty out. Weren't pretty at all.
It's the one guy that doesn't have an anti-bullet time Nautilus ult tool. It's a huge mistake coming through from Xiaoya. Xiaoya's level 1 mistake in lane, the 2v3 later on. Xiaoya has been the reason this game has been RNG favored up until this point. And that's so sad after such a good Civi game.
I want to see a replay as to how that happened. By the looks of it, Y6 found the hostile takeover and they went to try and all in. The problem was they were jumping at Milky Way and there's still a cleanse on Jachi, so he just ignores it.
From what I remember, the hostile takeover came after the pick came onto Xiaoya,
no.
so it's not even that. That's why I'm being so critical.
Oh, that's even worse,
because Xiaoya was picked off at that point, and then Y6 has to do that as a kind of like a disengaging option. So Xiaoya, big mistake. Don't have a replay of that just yet, of course. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. LGD looking for Ocean Soul.
The jungle we go. LGD here to contest, but they've lost a lot of their wards at this point, so a little harder for them to phase check. Don't really have the best phase checkers, it has to be said, this game.
Your Realm Hawk is kind of one of your phase checkers because you can kind of throw that in for vision. Nio going across the side, has that GA, he can help a little bit. Yorick, of course, very strong in an individual level, not the best team fighter, and LGD have found their way into River.
They have. I'll try and get over here, stack some spears and dogs. Try and secure that dragon. It's being bled down slowly. The Dark and Daggers, the Rumble comes out to the back line, but it's going to slip them away from the dragon. Don't go in. Dredge line wide. Hostile takeover comes across. There's that more enough time. Milky Way into the pit. The bullet time will not be enough to help secure the dragon. They kill off the Lee Sin afterwards, and that puts Nio right into the back line as he can hunt forward, flash, and the Hound's pursuit brings down the MF2. And LGD find another 5v5. This one is their favor. They get the Ocean Soul 2. Sassy keeps on brawling. They'll lose Xiaoya again. But they've done enough. They'll get this one 2-0.
LGD, the first team here in Group Nirvana to win a game without an AD carry. 1 in 5, 2,000 gold behind, but no matter. Ocean Soul and an utter Herculean performance from Nio at a 12-1 Neferi, proving that you can nerf the dog, but it doesn't need to learn some new tricks, does it? It's just powerful already.
On the other side, I think there's going to be a bit of an eyebrow raise for Tanguyen. He locks in the Annie early. It's a specialty pick. One way of putting it today, it didn't feel very good at all. Struggled to find anything resembling a solid ultimate, and I think RNG, not comfort, but couldn't find the... Not the greatest engage, though. Leona, I think, a little bit more ability to pull the trigger. That will be what Vampire picks up for the squad. So WE, big front line, reliant on the Azir and Ezreal to stay safe and mobile and long-ranged away from T2. More tools to get towards them. The Kaiser ults and the Rakans and Talias and Rumble Equalize and all those kinds of things. See what they can get done. Hey, thank you very much, Mecha Fanboy, with a 6-month sub to Monty's. Will not be leaving the community anytime soon. As always, Mecha, much love. Thank you for the support towards the channel. So, Thunder Talk here. Game 2. Center ADC and Vampire locks Vladimir. That would be very funny. Skybox is in. We're in Xi'an. It's WE's home arena. And already violence. Tajayo's coming on down.
Hoji Cha Latte.
Oh, yes.
And strawberry matcha thingy.
Oh, Hoji Cha Latte. Oh, Alex. I think I've been blessed. Oh, chat laps. That's hitting the spot. That's excellent. I've got a Hoji Cha Latte. And I've got a snack of some variety. I think it's sort of pseudo cinnamon roll. Oh, it is strawberry matchup. Oh, ho, ho. Apologies for the rustling, guys, but I'm quite excited for this. Engage in the bot sides. Briefly. Doesn't lead to all that much, though. That's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Missing a mandatory game on my way back. See you in a minute, Grumpy. Enjoy your travel journey home. Seeing you soon. Oh, thank you, Ambrock. Really appreciate that. It's a very lovely comment over in Onivia's chat. Setup actually in danger here, so I may have to hold on acknowledging compliments. Instead, talk about setup. Eating a bit of a chunk, but gets to rock surf away to safety. There's a ward there, spotting out Baitron's path. Your known quantity in a second or two. Taeyoon's a bit low here, actually. Needs to be a bit wary. Battle Lance away. And the Zenith Blade goes wide. Beitron hanging around mid lane with Monkey and Karis. Monkey goes steaming into that rat pit. I'm an omen. It's true. I hope you can't hear that. If you can, that's a bit awkward, but never mind. I've got paper noises. I needed food. Oh, yeah. Eats a big old chunk, but he's kind of fine. Early-ish lane swap because we've got the grubs coming up in a minute or so. Zenith Blade lands. Well buffered there with the Guardian, and they turn it around onto Vampire. Can't quite get the passive proc. Nice chunk there from Taeyu. Does anyone have the Azir Talia matchup stats? They're pretty awful. Tell you what, let me go so I can find it. Go see if I can find it. Because they are genuinely atrocious. Well, it's a pretty bad win rate. 39% win rate into Talia across all games. But that's also only including... That's including, well, basically everything. If we look at just LPL, he's having a bad time. Doesn't engage top side. Big jump forwards. Feather flashes away. Stays alive for now. Monkey. It's a bit of a chunk. Taeyu now split off, though. Gets to be alright as Thundertalk outplayed that one well enough. Cost the flash and heal on Feather. He does the work required. Interestingly, in the LPL this split, he's got a 50% win rate into the Talir, which is hilarious considering where he was in split 1. But still not pretty. %100% win rate into the RNG. He's here in the LPL. Grubs, take him. There by Monkey. Patron, though, was more than able enough to take the dragon on the other side, so that's fine. Thoughts on the different Kai'Sa builds? I've seen full crit, the hybrid Kraken, Rage Blade, Nashes. I think it depends how creative your player is, because what the different builds do is allow you to play the game very, very differently. Are you playing for all-ins with your ult? Are you playing for W poke? Are you playing for auto uptime? Are you looking to do a bit of a mix? Are you playing for this kind of point in the game? You know, the power of Kai'Sa is often in her versatility. I think this game, when you got double AP solo lanes, you're realistically going to want to Kraken Slayer build. Whether you turn that into full AD crit or the hybrid, I think is a bit more manageable. I think the problem with the full crits, you don't really build an LDR very freely, and you are into what will be quite a lot of frontline. So the joy of the Rage Blade and the Nash is a bit more on hit, which is quite nice. We're just fighting over control walls over and over and over down here, aren't we? Set up. Now about to get driven at. Good stun. Seismic Show just goes wide. Allows Setup to step down towards the river and be safe. Gets away with it. Monkey on the Skarnet. Realistically, the reason they made it here to Ascension in the first place. Brought Arn out multiple times in one game on EDG to earn them. Fought here in this most prestigious of groups. Always easier said than done, though, that. Oh, yeah. Jumped on. Nice taunt into the drive back with the Ixtal's impact, and it equalized the wave and the players both. To go up in the sky, Hoya flashes out of the grand entrance. Impaled afterwards, nowhere to go. Not much to be done there. Flash if the flash was popped. Double ult traded, but kill secured nonetheless. We know what Hoya's like from behind. He tends to just lose more. What was I eating? I was eating a white chocolate matcha and strawberry cinnamon roll. It was very nice. I've also got a Hojicha latte, and I'm very excited. Said cinnamon roll has now disappeared. Don't know how. Oh, who's this? Hey, Duo. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Bot side, Hoya's like, yeah, I'm about to be ganked on. And he's correct. It was a great one. Is the circle finally closing? It might be. It's the circle of suck. And it moves us all to tears. Dragon taking. Right, Monkey driving into the wall. 1xM, we'll have to cleanse that one out. Still gonna trade this one down. Cube is in danger, but so is Benchwan. Over the wall goes Feather. 1xM to the backside, trying to glove Monkey. It will not do so. Flashes off forward. Vampire is there. Oh boy, the equalizer comes on down, but WE fine 2. And Thunder Talk, a little bit perplexed to find a Scorpion driving from the wrong side of the map. So Monkey goes driving on and 1xM immediately has to cleanse. H1 dies a horrible death, and then this looks almost cool from Feather. But the Rumble's only here now, and he's at half HP. They don't kill Monkey. Look, 2 kills on Taeyun's as Ezreal. Look at the Goat Vampire clearing all of these for odds. He played that fight pretty well, I'll give him that. The entire Nirvana group would be 0-6 in WE's place. I like this format, but anyone, but yeah, but someone gets to suffer. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, W's still taking games off Anyone's Legend, off Top Esports, off BLG. They have actually gotten some game wins. Their game score isn't fantastic. They are 3-12. TT are 5-12, but those were enough to earn them 2 series wins. It's pretty important. That does mean, however, here, that WE have the ability to potentially pick up some very, very important wins here. If they can beat out Thunder Talk, it's a good moment. Am I going to play Magic on stream afterwards? Probably not. So, where do we find the game now? Unfortunate misshove there from setup. Realistically, WE in a good position this game. They're up 2,000 gold. They've got the objective lead. The kills are in really good spots. TT are very reliant on all-in. When you have Leona, Skarner, and Galio to keep 2 very mobile, very long-range carries in Azir and Ezreal alive. Like, TT's job is not easy this game from this point. Beatron's going to force a flash, and Taeyun is actually in so much danger, isn't he? Oh my god, here comes 1xN. They blow up the Ezreal. Flash out of the hero's entrance. And Monkey will flash for the Impale, and that's pretty solid. 1xN, and caught in that Flame Spitter. Will not matter too much because it's Hoya's Flame Spitter. What am I talking about? Monkey's got the healing fruit. Flashes over the wall, trying to find room to get an Ixtal's impact on down. Will burn out regardless. 1xN trades his life for the death of Taeyun, and the moment I say, wow, WE in a great position this game, these backline's going to be so hard to kill. I mean, I don't know, guys. There are curses and there's whatever I just did. I can only apologize. Do you think the meta's been stale lately? Rumble first pick every game, Scarnavirus, Zero, Ezreal, Yone. Yeah, okay, so... I don't actually think... Okay, we'll have a second here in a second. Set up, nice interrupt on Karis there. We'll have this conversation after this play. It was quite cool. It was messy. Good shove onto Karis, who ended up shuffling across the stones. Oh, God, dude. Not again. Bad, bad, bad. We got a dragon spawning. Well, I see your conversation on Fearless, and I have got a broader conversation to have there. But I want to wait until we're out of the fight so we can actually have a full conversation. So don't worry, I'm not ignoring it. We'll come back on it. Nice shove actually onto Vampire. About half his HP now gone. Paisa theoretically able to get some value here. 6 seconds on her ultimate. Mask and a half done for Hoya. Dragon, how do we start? Feather finds a knock-up. The equalizer is decent-ish, but Taeyun gets to hop on out of it pretty fast. So, turn to what could have been an okay moment to something a lot less good. Feather now at half HP. Ugh. It's a big ult there burned. Not a huge amount of value. Taeyun's burned his own two-shot barrage, but Feather being so low, I think, means that this will be WE's Dragon. And TT back away from this one, thinking a lost cause. So, Fearless drafting and stalemate. There is this issue at the top level of playing. I'll set up. It's fine. Went looking to see whether he could just be cheeky. That's not a bad option with the wave already shoved. Whippo had this conversation, and I think there is some astuteness to this. There is a lot less value in practicing niche counters as Hoya's going to die here. Not a lot he gets to do. Ignite comes on down, Azir takes that up. Yep. Does that get the turret too? Might do. Monkey gets the Impale. Beitron still gets the 3 times right knock-up. Seta comes across with the Weaver's Wall. Pulled out of the wall. Got a fair amount of shielding with the Tremors and the Seismic Bastion. It's not enough. And they pick up the Skarner. The problem is, WE just shoving for a tier 2 after the tier 1. Thundertalk? Okay, well, that's a trade of all time. Ha. Get the jungle at least. Oh dear. Okay. Fearless. Let's stop getting distracted. There is a lot less value of practicing niche counter picks now. Because you know that the one game it's played, it's never coming back. So it's pointless practicing niche counter picks into champions. Because you'll get to use it one game, maybe. Whereas otherwise, it would break a series. And so actually, in a lot of ways, at the top level, Fearless doesn't necessarily give you more draft versatility. Because you're still going to see the same champions that people are willing to trade. It's only once you get to, like, game 4, really, that Fearless has a lot of value. Ironically, I think there's often more value in the soft Fearless, where using a champion means it's still available on the other side. Because then if you use all those engaged supports and you don't have anything to play in, you just kind of deal with the fact that, oh shit, Rel's up and available, I have to deal with it. Fearless, in theory, allows players who are specialists at things like Fioras, things like Samiras, Dravens, more license to get draft angles where they can be useful. But I think, honestly, having bans be global post it is arguably worse. At least in best of 3s. Best of 5's a little bit. We'll see how it plays out. Don't worry, I still like Fearless well enough. It just means we get less counter picks. It's a bit more pointless than the packaging. It's a good equalizer coming on down. Monkey's gonna have to back away. We're still gonna get burned alive by that flame spitter. Based on fighting force, but 1XN brings his moment! Flash away. Good shuffle from Karis. Turns it around though. He can't quite escape afterwards. Setup now in danger, trying to trade around as Taeyun and Karis are the two remaining and make it a 3-for-3. 1XN couldn't quite escape, and Karis with the flash of the shuffle is able to get far enough back to shuffle the Kai'Sa back in. Get the tier 1 as well, and WE now in a commanding position this game. Can they get over tier 1 bot side as well? No, just the tier 1 mid, which still ends up being a more significant win. Monkey's landing his ult. He is. Good flash from Cube there as well, actually, who did eventually fall. Oh, no, he didn't. He got to reset. Oh, my God. I thought Cube had died. Got to walk off the bottom of the screen. Oh, that's rough. Only a 2-for-3. I take it back. Onyx over the wall looking for an angle. Beitron with a decent pressure guard, and the quickness comes on down, but now overcomes Cube. No ults to burn. Worth noting now, Beitron down his ult, Feather down his ult in trade for what? A solar flare? It's rough. Those are big cooldowns to be burning here. Is this best of 3? It is, Ken. Nice to have you on in here. Tier 1 falls bot side, TP still complete. Setup now looking for a shove, misses it. Karis sidesteps it. Setup eats Sundisk damage after. Oh my days, that's half his HP bar gone. And he just TP'd in. Play this one out. Weaver's Wall comes on down, splits Karis away from the fight briefly. Can now get an equalizer down across multiple members of the remaining. They're shredded by the Atacard. Big double seismic shove, trying to finish off some kills. The heroic entrance buys some magic damage, shielding the Impale lands onto the jungler. Now they've got the withdrawals available. 2 lost already. 3 lost already. Karis now in danger. Needs to back away. Might get jumped on here as Beitron looking for a TP out 1XN. Gonna back away. They'll head towards this dragon. They TP in. Cube here. Full HP. Setup on about a third. Beitron on about a third. Look to trade this one out. Setup needs to be a bit wary. Across the unraveled earth he goes. Beitron taunted. Dragon taken just about. Karis now over the wall. Goes to shuffle on in. They'll lose Cube. Now Karis in a 1v2 goes golden. He's just going to die. Feather in mid lane. Get another withdrawal. Is that all of the withdrawals down? I think it might be. And TT got the dragon too. So Atacard ends up being a disaster. However, WE is still up 3,000 gold? Okay. Baron started down to half HP. Hoya with the equalizer for an angle. Finds a decent chunk, but it's not enough to threaten anybody meaningful as Beitron is just not there. And they get that Baron pickup and a kill after onto Feather. Taunt comes on through. 1XN now in danger. Gets Zenith Bladed, cleansing away with Supercharger, trying to get as many autos down as he can. Has got the lethal tempo stack. Gets hit by the Impale! Monkey again! Just hates Kai'Sas! On out there commiserating with 1XN, who had no ult, no flash. And no way to avoid that ult. Monkey, this Skarn has been such a menace. And now with Baron, they can look to break open the base. Inhibitors are about to fall. I don't think they can quite end the game here. You can certainly set them off in good position. Let's have a look at the play again. Remember, Beitwan isn't there. So it's a 3v5 contest. Taliyah's going to turn up eventually. In goes Feather and immediately pops. Just doesn't get enough value. 1xN. Hit with the taunt, buys some time. Does manage to jump away for a second or two. The lethal tempo is fully stacked. There's just not enough damage as Hoya stunned up. That Impale looks like it's going to miss, but that hitbox is always bigger than you think it is. In comes the hero's entrance again. Beitwan flash away, but the Crescent Guard is down. He will die again. 5th death of the game is Taeyun. Now on this Ezreal in a very good position. First tower of the game finally picked up by Thundertor. Hooray! Well, base is well and truly broken at this point, isn't it? Baron's on. Front line's in place. Hoya's slowed down by the Solar Flare. We'll get Mikhail's to cleanse away. Now Vampire in danger. Gets a quickness down. The Equalizer's pretty solid. Taeyun will have to hop away from it. But Monkey's so damn tanky. 3 items on this Kai'Sa might be enough. We just don't know. They lose another member. And they're still on the siege, still on the warpath. 1 Nexus turret remaining. Setup flashes away. Crescent Guard buys some time. They'll lose Vampire. Cube now in danger. 1xN goes in, flashes out of the Emperor's Divide, who tries to shuffle his way out to safety, but the fancy moves won't make it work as 1xN blows up to Taeyun. Will fall as well, but the Nexus is fully there. Thundertor hold the line, but they stand on a pile of rubble. I'm sure they have a base. So much as a war zone. Either way, they limp out of it with the game still running. 25 seconds on Dragon. Can they at least get this mid-tier 1? Let's have a look again. The flash away from setup is pretty huge. Crescent Guard after. Very nice turnaround. And then what Cube is in danger, has to start running away. It's 1xN, really good flash after that ult. Baits carries out as Taeyun tries to flash buffer with his ult, still dies. Barrier pretty clear there, does still go down. They don't get the mid-tier 1. They don't get the dragon. There is a ward. Nowhere in the base, it was just an on the way ping. Oops, bit baited. And they can't rush the dragon. Can't get the mid-tier 1. Feel like maybe that could have been your option there. Getting neither kind of sucks. It's only sole point at least. The wombo combo from WE proving pretty monumental. Here we go. One last look into the base. The Impale comes on down. Base runs shuffled away. 1xN at least gets 1, but he's got nowhere to go. It's a good ult. Trying to get through the passive, driving away. But he's being driven away from his own down base. Flash away from Monkey. Buying some time, but Karis and Taeyun have nothing to worry about. They're ways away as the front line dissuades the backline dive. Game 5, Jin Bard was a bit of a disaster, but since then, we've seen some more looks in at the bot lane. It felt a little bit less of a straight in. Monkey, though, with our last pick, Jarvan. Jarvan Orianna is a combo that is not seen so much anymore, but once upon a time was a pro staple, to say the least. Cataclysm, Shockwave after. Yeah, that'll do. Set up for the Ornal as well. Horn horns in a barrel. TT look mighty like fish. A bit frustrating, particularly that Jin and the Victor who have no flashes. That'd be a very good magical journey to get people out to safety then. That's not easy. It's likely going to be this Varus Nico shoving for days. To the rift we go. Let the crowds yell, shall we? Not too much to be seen here. Wall pings come on down everywhere you look. Page one wanting to start on these Raptors. Slides over to the red buff. Vampire in a good position here as Taeyun also splits off, trying to see exactly where people end up. This is the Blooming Burst. Hasn't started with anything like the Tangle Barb. This Feather can look potentially for some of those empowered level 1 autos. Misses his first Cosmic Binding. The turnaround comes on through regardless. Nice chunk. Sam, will I stream today? I will. What is the appeal to picking Jin? Ice in the LEC always big, makes him look OP. That Jin was very useless at times. So, couple reasons to pick Jin. We'll have that conversation as we go. Really fighting for level 2 here. I think it should come on through for WE. Vampire gets level 2. Deadly Flourish comes on through. And they get a massive chunk back. So basically, Jin has really, really good utility as an AD carry. His W and his R are incredibly valued. W being a root and a lot of damage from a long, long way away sets up the rest of your team really well. Very good with a lot of pairings like this. They're going to heal. Vampire's going to have to heal in turn. You can do things like that. He's a pretty good laner. Even if he can drop some CS in rough matchups. Mainly because he's actually able to farm somewhat safely with the Dancing Grenade, with the W, Force Shot threaten. That's all pretty good. But yeah, the two big things are utility and range. The W and R utility is very, very high. And he plays from a long, long way back. And he doesn't require massive uptime for his autos, but great gank from Monkey. Great gank from Monkey. Flash over the wall, flag and drag after. They were not in any way expecting Monkey to do that move. That was very good. They had wards in the river. And he just flashed over the wall. The fact they're pinging it now, like, wait, he just flashed that wall there? How did we not spot it? I hope we're going to replay that, because Monkey basically comes at a really weird time. But they warded in the preparation for the 3 camp or even a level 2 gank. And instead he does Wolves Gromp and then does it after, having already done his red side quadrant. Nice play. Great play from Monkey. Really punishes 1xN and Feather. We've been trying to get on top of Vampire's neck there. But yes, the other thing with the Jin is, yeah, you play from a long way away, so it's a very safe AD carry. Your passive and your traps and your W, and the fact that you only need to throw an auto out to get a bit of speed to run away makes you very safe as an AD carry. Oh, this is a mean gank. Monkey. Monkey. Oh no, he's flagged back. Good flash from Feather required. Turn around now with the W. And you can sort of see you've got these options to trade a lot shorter windows. There was a point where Jin had really bad items and didn't do a lot of damage, which is really problematic. With the way items have moved, Jin that gets to 3, 4 items deletes everyone. It's really silly. You're actually a pseudo hyper carry in the sense that your curtain call becomes legitimately threatening. And we've seen people like Jackie Love, like Leave, really pop off on the Jhin. Nice kill there onto Vampire. Monkey wasted a lot of time there on that reset. Setup has to flash. Oof, Karis. Teleported back in and Setup was greedy on his own reset. Forced to flash. Alcove Gamer, yeah. That was the idea, but didn't get the flag and drag onto the flash this target. And so wastes his time. Very well. Vampire reverting back to form a little bit. Setup, we good? It's not a great moment from him. Vampire does not manage to deal with that one. Takes a bit of damage, but gets out to safety. Nice kill on the Bard there. The Orianna picks up with that shockwave. The Monkey's on the dragon. Beitran picks up that. Well done from Vampire. Oh yeah, a minimal lead topside, but that's not exactly game-breaking there, is it? Insane outplay. Can't believe he lives there. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Vampire got bullied off honey fruit by the Scuffle. Literally I think it's like going to be the only non-damaging creature in the game. Everything else has the ability to do damage except for Rift Scuttles, I think. Is there any other creature? Nothing you can fight, right? Cannon secured. Both. Page 1 heads on into this mid lane. Knocks down that control ward with a bomb core too. Good root bot side. You can also be a bit annoying into Nico as Barb because you can Q through her as she tries to shape change and you get a free double stun. Very obnoxious. Alright, set up, in danger, throws down a gravity field to buy some time. Monkey flashes on out, they're trying to get the last auto in, does so, gets out of range. The Hextech Storm's not going to be enough. And a flash blown by both of your mid jungle. But they get the kill on setup, who still doesn't have his flash up. 2-0 now for the Orianna. Oh, baby. Looks like she's going towards a rower build, so the damage isn't going to be that high. But hey, here we are. It'll be difficult to kill at least. Boris you can fight and is incapable of doing damage technically. You're not supposed to be able to fight Boris, but you can. Oh, there is a bug, isn't there? Rip and tear until it is done.
Yeah.
Grubs, 40 seconds. First set went the way of Thunder Talk. So they might want to play for the full set. Trap plus the dancing grenade. Enough to clear that wave out. Does look like Jin probably going towards the collector first here. Some autos come on through. Not too much to see here. Monkey scouts out that bush with the flag. Good chunk there onto Taeyun, who's forced to cleanse as the Cosmic Binding comes on through. Cosmic Drive, an item, not the ability name. Whoops. I just turned around. Hang on, Vampire looking for an angle back in. Feather flashes back on out. Vampire now in danger. The Deadly Flourish goes wide. So it doesn't turn into all that much then.
I've stopped dancing now.
Yeah, no, Alex just came in and started dancing. I was like, what is this sound? I looked around, there's just a little Alex.
Yeah, I did
dancing behind me. Slightly unnerving.
Well, TT, looking to get the 6 grubs. Monkey does have ult, no Sejuani ult. That definitely doesn't help TT look for the engage here. There's a flank from Karis. Dangerous flank on Oriana, but we'll see what can happen.
I've moved the mic around, so hopefully I can... Ooh, shockwave into the Cataclysm. 1xN is dragon struck into the ground. Thunderstruck's the AC/DC song, and WE just one better it. Taeyun now in danger, but survives anyway. Oh my days. On hit not required. Feather goes down as well, and WE are running over this one.
How the heck did WE get away with a flanking shockwave with no setup onto 2 people? 1xN's flash really had to be better there. TT, a team which obviously had a decent start against the other bottom tier teams in Group Ascend, but as we can see, I think W have been ramping up. They've been really ramping up, and I think that they're set to overtake TT, even though they are the 0-16 and TT are 2-5.
Karis came off the last series where he was pretty poor, all things said and done, but he got MVP for game 1 on that Azir, and now finds himself in a very good spot here in game 2. That flanking shockwave is the deadliest into the Cataclysm flag drag, and hangs on to Jin's ankles to pull him into an early grave. Setup at least got Vampire, but that's it. That's it. 1 for all of that mess. It's not enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go disappear into the ether again. It started raining. I was going to go to the zoo, then I'm going to go play some board games with Hells.
Oh, that sounds nice.
But,
Is it? How long is it going to be raining for?
It's a great question, Sam. I'm not actually.
You could look at the weather app.
I don't actually control the rate at which the rain falls.
That's a lie. You do.
I don't control the rate at which the lobsters die.
He does do that too. He controls a lot of rates.
I also don't control the lobsters or the die.
Are you concerned about the blueberries though?
I'm so concerned about the blueberries.
And you control the dye trade now? That's a very lucrative business.
Yeah, you know, the Silk Road over here in Xi'an.
Exactly.
By the way, that is actually a genuine thing. WE's home city is Xi'an, also known as Chang'an back in the day, which was the start of the Silk Road.
And here in Europe, we're at the other end of it, really.
Yeah. You know, there are things found in like some of the second base, for example.
Ring all bat into the Deadly Flourish, and the curtain call afterwards. Taeyun in danger. Vampire trying to body block, doing his very best. Hold the nerve. Find the 4 shot, but it only lands onto Vampire, and they can't finish it up. Vampire says, "Get down, Mr. President," and Taeyun survives this time around.
Okay, we're gonna go away. Bye-bye.
Get gone. Honestly, interruptions like that, why I hate this cast. What a despicable member of this household. Mecha says bye, Alex. There you go. Faster than goodbyes. Into the mid lane we go as Feather goes over the wall, but Monkey says, cool, I can just join you in here. Goodbye. Marshall Cadence autos. A Monkey. Continue to really improve. Flash forward from Karis, who's still got a shockwave. Can look to keep autoing. He's got a rower. He just runs to you. It's Juggernaut, Oriana. That's what Rookie was hoping to get done on this champion. Does he control how much pilt gets sold? No, that one's on me. Yeah, that's my purview. W is so back. Yeah. It's terrific case. I kind of... And maybe they are. Maybe they are so back. That's first turret. That'll be the feats of strength secured. This Oriana is Giga strong. Taeyun gets to Ghostblade out of an attempted Tempered Fate pick. Ghostblade from 1xN to try and outrun his demons this game. His demons being Monkey, primarily, with Karis and Cube not far behind them. Ghostblade pops. Deadly Flourish goes wide, but it does clear the wave. Setup, gets jumped on. Has got flash. May be required to burn it. Still stuck in that arcane storm. Doesn't take all that much damage. Setup now in danger. Gets point blank Call of the Forge God into the dirt. Hoya now looking for a flank. Glacial Prism was solid onto Monkey, but they've got enough of a shield here. It's now a 5v4. Honey Fruit is there. Hoya still got the dominance rolling alongside a lot of Fury to work with. But though you may have a Furious Crocodile, you don't have a Herald of the Arcane. And what are you going to do without a Herald when you're playing in a Herald pit? Duh! Hoya now has walked into the river, but will slice over the wall. Monkey attack briefly. But is now going to potentially turn his eyes towards Hoya, who flashes away. Monkey flags and drags, gets to slow on down with that standard. Karis hit by the Tempered Fate, needs to be a bit aware here. Doesn't have the flash, curtains are called. This might be a bad time to be Orianna. Sliced on through, and it's the Victor that picks that one up. Hoya gonna slice around as well and pick up another. TT, find two. Big moment for them. They chase onto the crocodile for too long, and the crocodile goes full. The river was always my domain. Why are you hunting crocodiles in a river? And W go, ah, yeah, fair play, mate. It's a bad idea, wasn't it? Do TT actually have damage this game? They will do once 2 to 3 items are done from Jin and Victor. The minute they're very reliant on Hoya. Oh, bye. Dumarcia! I like the individual enunciation there as Beitron finally comes on over and goes, stop it. Leave my mid-tier one alone. WE. Oh, that's an unfortunate Arctic Assault Glacial Prison combo as Beitron went looking, couldn't find the combo. Hoya in a 1vx scenario is skewered by the Varus. That time the crocodile hunting goes a lot better. Cube hit with the Arctic Assault, doesn't really care. Herald though some in mid lane, they're going to try and play for a bit of a shove on in. Call of the Forge got burned though. Knock up onto Feather, who ain't looking very full of flight. He's a flightless bard. I think he has penguins in that skin too, so it's all coming together in. I hope you like that pun. I know I did. Mid lane we look. Captive Audience comes on down, allows for a Deadly Flourish proc, but that's about it. Mid tier 1, secured by W alongside their second dragon. They are now up 4,500 gold. Have a look at the replay here. Hoya gets himself some Rog off the wave. And then Karis goes, how dare you? I too believe I can walk into the river and fight the crocodile. And Hoya goes, no, you can't. And Karis goes, yeah, but what about me and 3 other people? And he goes, ah, yeah, that one works a bit better. And down goes the Renekton. You see? how astute my League of Legends breakdown is. Looking like a pretty good WE game for now as Vampire over the wall. Teleport's coming on down. That's going to put Feather in a difficult position as he's hit by the Chains of Corruption ball. Himself, Mikhail's Monkey in a 1v1 with Setup. Flash away from Setup. Otherwise, Hoya looking for an angle. Tempered Fate comes on down. Not the best curtain call angle ever, as just missing a lot of shots, no vision to work with, as they just blow up too. The Renekton and the Sejuani. Varus food. Lighted Quiver gets some value. Good Cosmic Binding, but that's about it. And TT fumble what looked like a decent opportunity to turn around. Setup has gone bot side to try and play for that wave, and Karis has gone, no you don't. Let's tango. I beat you right now. And he does. Groundfield comes on down. Vampire is also coming. The Hextech Ray goes wild. Rocket Belt lands. Setup just being delayed here for as long as they can. The Mega Blast going. But there was a monkey waiting for him in the jungle. Should have recognized that one, just like there were crocodiles in the river. There are monkeys in the jungle. He'll keep blast coning away. But where will you blast cone to? The mysterious stranger dies again. I don't know why I'm going from that to the Old Republic commentary. For those who got that line, you're a real one. That's delayed Setup's death for another 25 seconds. Do they want to try and turn on something like Atacon? Clearly not. Just about resets. I think you could have gotten away with that. I mean, Hoya had flash. That would have been bad. Hey, Mabby, good to see you. Typical Crocodile technique is to send in things ahead of you. If you don't want to go swimming in the NT, bring a pig and a dog with you. Huh? So, we have Atacon spawned. 15 kills to 4. Tempered Fate, actually pretty solid here, but Vampire flashes. Yeah, boy. Deadly Ferocious wide. They put down the Arcane Storms. Well, that's so many ults. 3 ults for a flash. It's about to go real ugly here. Call the Forward follows across the wall. Monkey has got a ball. Vampire has a Pop Blossom. TT have a prayer and a dream as Monkey flashes on out to safety. They've once again found themselves some crocodile meat. And Hoya goes, I appear to have been evolutionary outmatched. Cast having a great game here. I'm having fun. Thank you. Stupid fight, yeah, kind of. Like, I'd like to say otherwise. It was a bit silly, wasn't it? Alright, let's have a look at this again. So, oh, it's this place. So look, they're going to take the magical journey, and Q goes, great, I'm going to send my friend the Forge God through with you. Vampire doesn't find the best angle, but it forces 1xn and set up the wrong side as Feather tries to get on to Monkey, who just goes no and leaves by pressing EQ. When are we getting a DJ Jarvan skin where when he EQs, he actually EQs and we get a little like sound wave as he travels? And his Cataclysm could be the bass drop, and it's like a little spinning turntable. His staff can be like a microphone stand or an aux cable, and he plugs in the aux. I'm just saying, guys, there is value here. Karis gets jumped on. As I'm going to keep trying to jump on this. Baytron flashes away, but Karis goes, no you don't. And Feather goes, well, I've come to join my friends and will temper people's fate, but only momentarily, because who the hell says no to a god? Cube has a ball on top of him. doesn't really go in with it, though. And so Setup and 1xn get to runaways. Oh, yeah, that could have been a bit scary, but Vampire won't face check it. It's fine. Towards the Chem Dragon we go. That'll be sold point for WE, and Thunder Talk are looking really like a mild static shock you get off your carpet back home. Cataclysm create a nice dance pattern. Exactly. You see the angle. Let's have a look at this. So basically, Beitron goes, right, Karis is by himself. Let's go. They've got the possibility to follow up with the Jhin. They get the root, and then Feather joins, and no one else does. And they realize, well, this is way too far. Then Hoya's going to come on over, who was looking for a kind of flank, but gets knocked up by the Cataclysm wall that provided a nice bit of terrain for Cube to go Searing charging onto. That shockwave kind of sucks, I'm not going to lie. Back to live, there's violence occurring. But there's a Mega Blast Cone! So no. I really enjoy Nico's little helicopter sounds. They're very entertaining. Oh, Setup. No. Run, little Setup! Okay, it was... He didn't actually need to run. He's got to, like, walk really purposefully. And that was enough as Karis with the command dissonance. We'll also get to walk a little faster, but with similar levels of purpose to escape and engage. Beitron will Mega Blast Cone. But is now really, 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 really deep with nowhere really to run. Okay, Karis just popped an Elixir of Sorcery. My goat wants to hurt. 1xm will flash. Pop Blossom! Lands onto 2! Gonna look for command attack distance to Bacon. He's down to half HP. Bacon looking like it's back on the menu. Searing charge will not land close to said Bacon, so it's mildly underdone. To turn around as Monkey goes flagging and dragging the other direction. And in the end, Elixir Sorcery popped. Ultimate or 2 used. Really all it ends up getting is a flash on Vampire and a flash on 1xn. And WE go curses. I guess we're waiting for dinner. Looking for a steal there, but the smite from... It wasn't a smite, just a regular auto. I take that back. It was the 4th shot sound from Jhin that baited me to thinking it was a smite. You've got 2 items on your Jhin. You've got 2 items on your Victor. That might be something. The problem is Atakan's going down. And all of those blood petals, all of that amp towards the objectives you got. Yeah. This one's gonna hurt. Monkey having a wonderful game here on the Jarvan. Karis hit with that tempered fire. Oh, it's early! Beitron! Learn to take your time! Do better on dates that way. Clearly got the wrong date when that Zhonya's was coming undone. Hoya also dies. The Cataclysm comes on through. Bow wow. Drops the beat. On to the Baron we go. No jungler, no top laner. And the curtains are being called. But so is the Forge God. And 1xm will not be able to stand and keep shooting. Monkey will help Taeyun pick up another. Sped up by the command attack distance. The setup's going to go try clear out the wave and go, cool. I need this wave shoved so Baron doesn't make us all lose the game now. Are they still going to come over and play this? They are a bit low, but I don't know. Vampire still got Pop Blossom. 1xn knocked into the air. And X marks the spot where an AD carry used to live. Nico picks that one up. Vampire securing his opposite number. Pseudo-opposite number in the enemy bot laner. Baron secured. Minute till Dragon. WE, this game is surely in the bag. 11k gold lead. And a comp that's feeling pretty damn fine right now. Look, WE, there have been inklings of improvement. Game wins off anyone's legend. Game wins off top people. Game win off BLG. Just not series wins. And the 0-6 scoreline was a pretty stark statement. Thunder Talk, though, have scraped their way to a couple series wins. Not cleanly, not easily, and certainly not consistently. They were a very valid target for WE to find their first series win. And right now, they are on the precipice of it. It would take a miracle, maybe 3, bluntly, to deny WE from claiming another Nexus here. Hoya is going to try and split push away. We're getting some ornaments coming on through. The Black Cleaver's been upgraded. The Ghost Blade's been upgraded. Probably waiting on a Roa upgrade, and this Orianna is set for life. Thunder Talk without an early lead just look very lost, don't they? Some poor choice around those team fights have really cost them, and WE have been more than willing to join them in the scuffles. Fracas commences again. Vampire will pop Blossom Hoya, deny his engage. Cube looks for the call of the forward call, gets it across multiple members, but it's kind of left alone. Monkey's finally turning up, but it's a little late. Cube will Searing Charge away and survive. Kurt's being called though. 1xN looking for some damage, but he just doesn't have the items. Monkey put down a moment there with the standard and just doesn't take any damage. They'll blow up another with a Cataclysm. A Monkey on this job has been a menace. That Shockwave, not that high on the Richter scale, misses everyone, but it doesn't matter because the base will still be broken. With Baron on top and 2 members dead, easy take of the inhibitor after. So he's been many things. Close isn't one of them. Vampire's disconnected. That sounds problematic. That's good news. We're back onto the rift. I hear noises. No noise? No noise? We're back. Hooray! So many Jarvan clones saying Jarvan lines. Never done copium in my life. That's a lie. Ruby, I know what teams you support. Can't even make a joke about TT coming back. It's too far gone. It does feel quite rough now, doesn't it? Towards the base, WE will march. Thunder Talk. Shell Shock today. It's not been good stuff from them. The team fight's problematic. The early playmaking not consistent. WE, the improvement might finally have earned them. Finally have earned them a series win. Flag and drag forwards. Call of the Forge God across only one, but the damage might just be enough anyway. A setup left at about 20% HP. Vampire! Flash on forwards with the Pot Blossom. Hoya on Cube, but that's not really a valuable target now, is it? There's the bacon. And they're taking it home, a WE. Final inhibitor. Nexus turrets under siege. Tutorial League of Legends. WE will have no mistakes. A cleanse, a flash on out of the curtain call as 1xN will take a bow with the rest of his team. I'm just not sure they'll be coming back around for another rendition this time around. There will be no encore. WE happy with the 2-act play. Their first series win here in Group Ascent. Finally, something to truly smile about.